What's that? You breaking up. I can't stand Instagram Live. Stop. I can't hear nothing you saying.
How about now?
Oh, perfect.
Woo! Okay. Let's get it back. First of all, let's do it like we're doing it for the silver screen. First of all, I want to thank you. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you for, first of all, giving us this opportunity to, do this interview. I know right now everybody is watching this this Versus with Raekwon and Ghost. I'm like, these bastards got to do it when I'm doing my thing. Come on now.
It's all good. It's all good. They can watch it after,
Yeah. No question. So first and foremost, man, everybody who's watching it, everybody who's new to the channel, this is Hip Hop Radio. I'm your host, LS, and we have the honor and the pleasure to have on our platform today Miss Paula Perry. First and foremost, straight out of Brooklyn, Fort Greene to be exact. You know what I'm saying? So show us some respect. Let me see some claps. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get right to it. How you doing today, first and foremost? How you feeling?
I'm good. Kind of tired. Been running all morning. But you know.
I hear you. I've been on the same type of time. It's been crazy for me. Just doing a lot. You know what I mean? But, we got to do what we got to do, right? Keep it moving.
Yeah. You in New York?
Say what?
I said, you in New York right now?
No, I'm actually out here in Vegas. So I'm doing my thing out here in Vegas. I've been out here for a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why we do it at 6 p.m. over here, so it don't be so late, because it's late over there where y'all at.
I know. But it's not as late as it is in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
All right, they'll be like, I'm tired.
No doubt. I miss home, but I'm gonna be back there once this COVID stuff is over. How you been moving around? Say again?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia right now. I'm not in New York right now. So I've been down here a few years now.
No doubt. How is it out there? Are they moving around with like they do it in Atlanta? Because Atlanta's crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, thank God. I mean, maybe in Virginia Beach, Virginia Beach think they Miami or Atlanta. But, where I'm at, they pretty normal. Everybody's still human.
Everybody's still human. Right. Exactly. I'm dodging this. Crazy. No doubt. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to get into the music. We're going to get into everything. We're going to get all up in your business. You understand what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, me personally, I remember back when I first heard you on Stretch and Bobbito. Now, they was playing a record of yours. And I was like, Paula Perry, and I kept hearing it. And I remember you was down with Master Ace. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And see. So before we get into that, I want to talk about the early part of your career, right? You were spitting hard, one of the most hardcore spitters out there. Still, because I'm hearing what you're putting out. You've been putting out lately. But aside from you just being a Brooklyn rapper, you know what I'm saying? How did you actually hone your skills coming up?
Well, when I was real young, I used to go to Spanish Harlem a lot. So back then it was real big in hip hop. You know, Harlem. Right then, I just had that feeling, that hip hop feeling just got in me. Hearing Curtis
Yeah.
Blow, and all the early rappers back then, and going to the jams in Brooklyn, learning how to rap when I was about 13.
Okay.
My sister's ex-boyfriends, they used to rap. So, you know, I kind of like picked it up from them. I was about 14 when I went to high school, had to battle the 10th and 11th graders when I was in the 9th grade. Because, you know, you coming in a freshman thinking you fly, can rhyme too, and they like, hold up. So next thing you know, I'm sitting there with a whole bunch of people coming towards me in a lunchroom. I'm like, wait a minute. Instant battle. And I might have lost this by a wee bit, you know. But, you know, that kind of motivated.
Yeah.
That
now, was it a
motivated me to
female?
go home. Yeah, and I just wrote some battle raps, came back to school, and me and the girl, Baby Shy, we never had a chance to battle again because we made friends. So in fashion, we had, you know, we had the team. We did like an orange juice commercial. And going to the jams at Fort Greene, everybody used to come and get me. Soon as a female get on the mic, Paula, this girl thinks she rapping. She thinks she nice. Come get her. So I'm like, all right. Send her home. So it was over. It was over. So, you know, that's pretty much how I got my motivation.
Now, that's what's up. You know, one thing's for sure, shout out to her, because at the end of the day, you said one thing. You said you might have lost. You might have lost, right? But at the end of the day, she might be saying the same thing to you, saying about you. Like, yo, I think I lost to her. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how we
remember the rhyme I wrote, the disser. But I said, I ain't gonna say her name, but baby something, you ain't shit. My brother said he saw you on a porno flip. And back then, that was the dopest line. So right then and there,
let me tell you why that was a crazy line. That's a crazy line because back then, when chicks was being seen on a porno flick, that was looked down upon. You know what I mean? It's not like today.
Yeah. Now they think, oh, they like, yeah, I'm a porn star.
Catch me on OnlyFans. You know
oh, Lord. I made
crazy.
I made a mistake and made an account on OnlyFans before I knew exactly what it was about. I ain't been on it since. I swear.
Well, but see, here's the thing, right? You ain't always got to be naked on OnlyFans because it's starting to change, right? People starting to get creative with it. You know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from. It's like you made it, you probably thought it was another social media thing, you know, to get you out there. And then you say, what? Wait a minute.
What's up with Twitter? I can't even surf Twitter with my little niece and nephew no more.
No, Twitter's not for kids. Twitter is not for kids.
It wasn't always like that. It's like the last 3 years, maybe.
Right. I think what it is that they allow everything straight on there. I haven't been on Twitter for a long time. Recently, since I started doing This Is Hip Hop Radio, I started getting on it, and I'm starting to scroll. And I'm like, whoa, it's like letting a lot of stuff fly out here. And it's just like straight porn. You ain't even got to go block your porn sites. You got to block Twitter now. It's crazy. This is where we are. This is where we are. Right. So since you said you had the battle, right? You had that battle, and you earned your respect around the hood, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of battles back then was not as crazy as they are today. So, would you say that you watch battle rap now?
Yeah, I do. To me, it got a little bit too serious. like back then it was more for fun. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Everybody walk home still happy, slapping hands. But now it's like people take it too personal. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like losing the essence of it all. Especially when you want to bring out the guns and people get killed behind it and stuff like that. And that's the same for a lot of the things that's going on in hip hop right now. You know, Love and Hip Hop, watching that, it portrayed more of sex, hate, you know, competition. It's all right to have friendly competition, but when you get to the point where you got to throw glass at each other and try to cut each other's face up, you know, trying to get more attention and more money than each other, that's disgusting. And to me, something had to give. Something had to give before they even take this away from us. I don't know what these new girls is doing right now. I love Cardi B. Don't get me wrong. But it's like now she's over there. You understand? Come back. Stop looking at your face. You understand what I'm saying? I don't wear makeup. I'll be 50 this year. You understand what I'm saying? Little eyeliner, lipstick.
We gotta give you a round of applause for that. Hold on. Because let me tell you something. You said that this year you'll be 50, right? But you don't look it. You look a lot younger than a lot of these girls walking these streets that's in their 20s. Now, what do you attribute that to? Do you think that it's more or less back in the early 90s and in the late 80s, 2000s, there's less females or anybody, less stress involved with how your appearance is?
Definitely that. Everybody loved you. Loves come from within. So that's the way I grew up. You love somebody from the inside out, not from the outside in. That's one. Two, my mother always brought us up on Dove and cocoa butter, Vaseline, shea butter. You understand? Three, no hard drugs. You feel me?
Right.
All that pain, pills, Molly, lean, what you call it?
Perks. Meth. They do all that.
You got to put holes in your skin.
Absolutely.
I got allergies, asthma. I'm allergic to damn near everything. Your body, you have to listen to your body, for one thing. You know, listen to your opinion, what your body is telling you. And as you get older, you get wiser. You just learn, you know, as you get older. And that's it. Just listen to yourself.
Absolutely. You know, they don't have, and then not only that, we didn't have social media back then either. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry. We had curricular activities back then. We played rope, we ran, we raced, Coco Livio, you know, everything. These kids, they don't even know what that is right now. Double Dutch.
No.
You know, we have double Dutch teams, cheerleading teams, all of that. They don't do none of that. All they do is be on their phone because their parents get them the phone to babysit them.
Absolutely. And what do you think? When's the last time you seen it? When's the last time you seen kids doing double dutch in the street?
Years ago when I did my video for Extra Extra. And my sis Val, she got her cousins in them to do the double dutch because she wanted to keep that essence in the video, and she said that. Perfect idea. That was the last time I seen them playing double dutch.
Wow, that's crazy. You know, and Extra Extra, you was coming hard on that joint right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, let me tell you something. Like, a lot of people always want to talk about Extra Extra. That was a dope record, but you put out some music, and you put out recent music, you know what I'm saying? And your skills are still there. Your skills are still there. So,
I mean, sometimes I had to get simple on some of the songs, you know. And then I put out, like, actually, the mixtape stuff I've been dropping, that's old. That's 20 years old. So it's like now it's new to everybody else. So for my album, my father, Q45, me and him was partners on Motown. So collectively, we came up with Tales from Fort Knox, quickest, cheapest album in Motown history, and now is right now.
With all of those features?
With all of those features? Well, it was shelved back then. Long story, and I don't want to talk about it because it's going to get me upset. It's Saturday night. Anyway.
Yeah. But it's out on all platforms right now. I definitely want to let everybody know. And really quick, before I get too deep into it, is the audio all right for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So, yeah. And right now, Tales from Fort Knox is out on all platforms.
Yeah.
Right now. So if you guys
Amazon,
go ahead.
Tidal, all of them.
All streaming platforms, y'all. So if you want to go out and y'all want to hear that album by Paula Perry, she got a lot of features on there and some of that stuff that you can still take today and listen to some of that and you be like, yo, what the fuck? Because the thing about it, you got your man Mr. Cheeks. I like that joint right there. The joint with Mr. Cheeks on it.
DQE.
Yes. That one, and then there's another one with Brian McKnight on there. Who else was on that record?
Yeah, that's me and Q45, my baby father.
Q45, okay, copy. Yeah, I like that one too.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So I really want to go back real quick before we move on, right? How you got into the game. Now, you were definitely introduced to Master Ace by family members. Is that safe to say?
Yep, my cousin
no
Pop.
Doubt.
Me and Ice You Rock.
Okay.
Ice You Rock was a group down with Master Ace before me, actually.
Oh, got it.
They're the ones on the Slaughterhouse single.
Okay, got it.
1, 2, 1, 2. This is Paula Perry and it's a brand new year. Yeah, Ice You Rock is on that in the beginning of the song.
Okay. No doubt. And when you got down with that team, with the INC, right? And you was doing your thing, moving around. When you started going on tour, when you got outside of Brooklyn and started going on tour, what was your experience like? Like, what was that like for you? Was it a culture?
At first, I was the only girl. I was the only girl in a group full of guys. So my rule was hands off. So I would take my boyfriend at the time, Q, picture with me everywhere I went. And it was fun. It was exciting. You know, Lord Digger crazy, Master Ace, you know, like brothers. So it was a lot of fun. Although I didn't understand a lot of things back then that I was supposed to have been entitled to, but I wasn't. Still, just the experience alone.
Absolutely. How was going to these different cities for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows, like, a lot of people if they never went outside of New York, they'd be like, everything past Harlem is country. So when you're going out there, what was that experience like for you?
Well, you know, I was always used to traveling down south back and forth because all my family is down here.
Yeah.
But going like overseas and, you know, even to Atlanta the first time, seeing all the black businesses, it was real mind blowing, you know? And then seeing all the fans that I actually had, it was so surprising because we was doing like full-fledged concerts. And to hear everybody screaming my name, I'm like, wow. Because you never profit in your own home. So you regular, whether your record is being played every day or not. So it's like, you don't get to see how much people love you and appreciate you, how many fans you got until you experience going on tour.
Right.
So that was mind blowing for me.
I know that had to be mind blowing. It's like when you never been somewhere before ever in your life, and you're like, hold on, wait a minute, these people know exactly who I am. Like, how are
Yes,
they listening? How are they getting it?
California for the first time too. I mean, we had to stay out in California for a while because you know the label was out there, Delicious Vinyl.
Yeah.
So going there, it was pretty exciting. You know, it was
No doubt.
Now, growing up, I would always say, I'm going to California one day. So one of my neighbors would be like, when you going to California? I thought you was going to California. Soon, 2 years later, I was in California. But you know.
You was in California. Hey, you know what? Too bad Instagram wasn't out back then. Because then you could have went on live and was like, look, only our people that always ask me when I'm going to California. Well, let me show you what a palm tree really looks like. Let me go touch it.
Yeah, we didn't have social media back then. So the only thing I had was
Polaroids. That's it. Speaking of Polaroids, right? Do you still have like pictures that you took with artists from back around that time that's probably not still around?
Nope.
Nah, huh? But there's a
lot of stuff. Some things, yeah. Matter of fact, my mother, she got about 1,000 photo albums. I'm sure she has some of the stuff in there. Actually, I'm sure she do. Yeah. And I think I do too. And I think I do too.
You know what's crazy?
And I got that tape, that mixtape from 20 years ago. My boy Cisco had it for me down here in Virginia. So he called me up like, "Boy, that guy, and you should see the tape. It looked crazy. I mean, it looked like a Ed Hardy type of looking tape." So what I did was, my manager, Dennis Mathis, he had got me this tape to MP3 converter for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I just dumped everything off. And I haven't heard these songs in like 15 years. And it just brought back that feeling, like, you know, and I needed that. Yeah. And to this, it sounded a little more crispier. People would never know when I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing's for sure, if you don't date your records, then you won't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, you really ever dropping it. Yeah, you might not even have to do all of that, you know, just drop them, drop something that sounds, I mean, of course, the sound quality might not be the greatest because they're coming off of tapes and they're converting them. But if you ever had like any DATs laying around or something like that, oh, I bet they'd be crispy and you could drop them shits.
For real.
You know, see, a lot of people don't know about the DATs. Like, we come from the era with the 2-inch reels and the DATs. You know what I mean? And these cats don't know nothing about that. Right?
Yeah.
The 2-inch reel, we used to call them the midgets. You know, you carry it with that, and you be proud to go to the studio, and they about $200. Around the time I started, I was able to buy 2-inch reels. They was about $200, right? And you go in there, and you had to pay for that studio time. So you had to come, back then, you had to come to the studio with your rhymes already written. You had to practice this joint. It's not sitting there going and punching in and all of that extra stuff. No, because they got to run that reel all the way back. A lot of these cats don't understand.
That's right. You see what I got? I got a studio right here in the crib.
Look, we about to get into that in 1 sec. I want to do
got everything I got.
Absolutely, as you should. You know, one thing I wanted to also say, a lot of people. Well, first of all, with the Motown situation, I know you don't really want to get too deep into it, but after that situation, right, where with the album, Did that kind of turn you off from the industry?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of like made me want to walk away. And that, just gave me an opportunity to have my baby, start a family. This takes time for me. So
Yeah.
after that, I was still putting out records. I was signed to Buzz Distribution. So
Right.
after he skipped town with about 10 grand that he still owed me, that's when I
Wow.
really was like, and I started shooting videos for people. My son, he was like 9 or 10 at the time. He was a radio guy. I had the camera. So in a year, we shot about 100 videos. You know what I'm saying? By myself. For everybody in Brooklyn. 2012 came. I started getting these weird phone calls telling me this, telling me that without getting too deep into it.
Yeah.
I had a war with Nicki Minaj and her barbs. All of a sudden, I get a death threat from Young Money. So, me, I'm in Brooklyn. I got the rifles downstairs. Feel me? I'm
No
not
doubt.
afraid of a gun. I never was. I had to pull my gun many a times. Bullets went right over my head. Feel me? If it's meant for me to die, I would have been dead. But what I'm saying is, when she did that, my mother got wind to it, and she came and got me. I came home from somewhere. She was in my crib taking off my pictures off the wall, like, you coming with me? Huh? Because I was yelling out the window, going crazy. And what, Nikki, take your mask. No, you take your mask, bitch. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Something wrong with you. You understand what I'm saying? They tried to make me crazy. No. Only God had the last word in every situation. So I'm still here. I'm still smart. So,
Absolutely.
it is what it is. I came a long way from there.
Yeah. And when you did you move away from New York at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I had to go to Virginia.
Yeah.
I sent my son to, and things is started getting worse. So, my baby father, he got my son, and I just came down here for a while. I was back and forth pretty much.
Back and forth.
So I tried to be back like in 2017, but circumstances happened, had its way, so I went back down here, which was good, which was probably the best decision.
I was about to just say that. Do you feel like that was the best decision that you could have made at the time, or in general, to get away from New York? Because a lot of people, they get stuck in that in that situation that is bad for them.
Yeah, you're right. But since I had a chance to travel while I was young and stuff, I was never really stuck in that New York box. You know what I mean? And I always did what I had to do. And I was always a hustler. So moving down here, at first, it took a toll on me because I love New York so much. And I had so many friends and people that was counting on me. So once I left, a lot of things in the streets stopped, as far as like the videos, having everybody outside, having fun and togetherness. Then the love and hip hop came about, to which it just showed like a lot of negative things that was going on. And the love wasn't really. So, right now with everything that's happened with this corona and everything, not to say it was a good thing, it was definitely a terrible thing. I lost a lot of friends and family behind this, but maybe it gives people a chance to sit back and think and see the error of a lot of people's ways. Nobody's perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I mean, I had to slap a lot of people, and I apologize. So everybody I had to slap, but
look,
a lot of them, they deserve it.
But they probably had it coming too. So, I mean, you say you're sorry, but they might have had it coming.
Weakness for weakness. When I was reaching out, people pretty much, it was like an aha thing. So I was like, okay. But that kind of, made me pick myself back up and say, all right, Pete.
Right.
What you doing? You know what I mean? Snap out.
Exactly.
I slapped myself pretty much. So,
no doubt.
Got a good man, Chris, my boo-boo. So, I'm happy. I'm happy. Trying to stay stress-free. But with my nieces and my sisters and them, arguing all the time. I'm like, stay in the light, find your peace.
You gotta, hey, you got to. You have to. You gotta tell them, like, listen, look, you know what? If anybody else is not giving you the peace that you want, then you got to move on and find your own.
That's right. You have to.
You know?
You have to. You have to separate yourself from the stressors.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm getting
Absolutely.
I want to feel you. Feel me? I mean, I feel it in my back all the time, like, you know.
It's crazy. You know, my wife always say, I hate getting old, but I love getting old. I say, oh, older. I say, yeah, me too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's first of all, the kids that was babies, now they grown up, like all our kids out the house. So, you know, you think about it, you like, where did the time go, right?
Yes. Yes, it's like 10 years just flew by.
It's crazy. So, really quick, what do you think about the game right now? Because I see that you starting to emerge, and you know what I mean. One of the reasons why I wanted to interview you and talk to you on this hip hop radio, right, is because first and foremost, I don't know how I'm just gonna keep it 100. I don't know how your name came across my head when I said, wait a minute, what female rapper do I want on here? And I just said, let me start looking. And I said, Paula Perry. Let me holler at her, because I had a crush on you back in the day. I was like, when I was in high school, I was like, oh, you can rap too? So, you know, I said, find out where she is and what she's doing. And that's when I started coming across, you know, you promoting Tales and whatnot. And that's when I reached out. I wanted to, you know, because I wanted to know, like, what happened, because I thought that when you were coming out, you were amongst the people, you know, you had the Kims and the Foxys, but you was a little bit earlier. You know, you was around the time Lauren actually was out around that time. Yeah, Bahamadia, you know, from Philly, yeah, all of those rappers. So I said, damn, how could I have missed that? Because you know, you can miss your favorite artist, and they could drop about 10 albums, and today you wouldn't even know it because the machines aren't there like that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know, Beyonce could drop an album, you might not know.
Yeah, well, you probably seeing me more because I'm signed to Cleopatra Records, you know, X-Ray Records. So they got the album now, Tales from Fort Knox. I signed to Famous Records like 4 years ago, and that's where I put out Shut the F Up. That was produced by Easy Mo B. So, yes. So you probably see me more because of this machine I got behind me now.
No doubt. And, you know, one thing's for sure, you know, I like that Shut the F Up joint. I love that joint. Like, you can curse on here, too, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you know, yeah, you can curse. Hey, listen, the listeners and the watchers already know how we do it over here.
Look, my mama might be watching.
Okay. Definitely. But no. What made you want to do that record? Like, what made you want to do that over? Like, we know MC Light, and then we know again.
Mo B hit me up with the beat and was like, yo, Paula, I want you to get on this. So I'm like, all right, let me hear it. So when I heard it, I was like, yes. And I was still kind of angry back then because of what happened with the ordeal I told you about in 2012. So it was perfect for me. I got a chance to just lash out on the track. So it was a blessing. Mo B just hit me off. And I loved it.
That's what's up.
I think he tried to give it to Foxy first and she didn't like it.
Oh, she didn't like it? Well, you know, what you did was you bodied that shit. So, you know, at the end of the day, salute to you for that, because my peoples, when I played it a couple of weeks ago, I think you was on the live. You jumped in for a second. and I played that joint. You had that one and the other joint that we play all the time. And it's the split. You know what I'm talking about, right? The
Pop
pop
off.
off joint. Pop off. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole video so y'all can hear the whole record. Cause I did that one like 6 years ago. But people just hearing it like, yo, P, I'm like, so.
Yeah. Because one thing for sure, you gotta understand one thing, right? You know, you're an MC, right? I'm too much of a man to say you're a femc, so I'm gonna say you're an MC. You're a female MC. You know what I'm saying? And one thing's for sure is that a lot of these MCs out here that are female MCs, a lot of them aren't pushing the lyrics as much. I mean, you got some of them like Armani Caesar, you know, you got people like her and really bringing lyrics into it. But, you know, you got a lot of these say again?
Lil Mama,
Young M.A. still spitting. You know, salute to them. That's really got lyrics. How do you feel about the ones who are just over-sexing it and just doing what they do because the machine? Like, you know, without saying no names, but how do you feel about it?
I mean, I can't really knock them because there's space for music for everybody. But with all of this trafficking going on and kids coming up confused and stuff, it kind of looks strange seeing Cardi and Megan humping each other in front of them. You understand, at the awards? It just don't look right to me anymore on the point of everything that's going on. And it's making our kids want to be more promiscuous, you know, sooner than they should. If you ask me, they don't have to do all of that, especially Cardi. She never had to do that. And I looked at her as such at first, especially when she was on Love and Hip Hop. Megan didn't have to do all that either. You know, she twerked her way up to the top. Feel me?
Yeah, cool.
I can't knock Jay-Z, you know, but you know, it's whatever, it is what it is. But at the same time, them being women, come a little better. Come a little better. Show us better. You know, what is it rapping? Your face or your booty? I'm tired of seeing your ass, and I'm tired of everybody's ass looking the same. You understand? And it's starting to look weird. It's starting to look strange. I don't like it. Period.
It's not, and you got to understand, a lot of men, we love natural. We love the natural. I mean, it's all right to look at some. Yeah, but they feel like these girls.
You're a more natural girl that can strip off from all of that and still look good, still pretty without the makeup. These girls, you can't even recognize them without all that mess. You feel me? No. And then what they understand is the first time you do it, it's going to be a botch job so you can go back. Understand that. All they want is your money. More and more and more. And now you can put your butt on layaway so anybody can get it. Cut it out.
Literally, cut it out. Literally. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's really not, it's not safe either. You know, you got a lot of these women dying from that.
Yeah, it is. They are. And then look what happened to K. Michelle with her booty and her back problems. You know, and then a lot of the girls got to get their breasts taken out and fixed. It costs more to get fixed than it costs to get it done. So it's tearing them up. And they get it done in their 20s. But by the time you get my age, you're going to regret it. So I'm telling the ones that didn't get it yet, don't do some squats, get some booty lifting panties. I can make you some. Get some elastic, put it, you know, lift your butt up. It ain't nothing but fat. That's all you gotta do. Period.
Period. Speaking of you saying you can make them some of that. So you used to actually do clothes. day. You used to make clothes back in the day, right?
I still do. Yeah, I still do. I got look. Let me show you. Look. Here you go. Look.
Uh-oh.
See?
We getting an
See that?
exclusive, y'all.
Look, I want to show you.
That's what's up. So, what made you?
Look,
What made you?
Anything too. I can bootleg anything.
So if y'all need some Ferragamo belts and some and some red bottoms, y'all need to holler.
Paula Baton at me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So what made you start doing that back in the day? Was it because it wasn't, a lot of us grew up where our parents didn't have a lot of money to get us the things that we wanted. Was that one of the reasons why you started doing that and just developed a love for it, or was it just taught to you?
Well, I went to high school for I went to fashion industries for sewing, and I drew too. So I was always into art and stuff. So every Christmas, my mother, since I was so good in school, straight A student, smartest girl in New York City Tech, in fashion, you feel me? I got the highest grades. And in the University of Phoenix, my mother would always buy me anything that I wanted, like Christmas time. And it was always stuff that I can, exploit my talents with. So I just kept at it. And my son was the same way. As he got older, I kind of lost the passion, but I kind of got it back into it, got him back into it. So that's why I said I bought him everything. From the rapping, the mic stand, to the stick, to the presser, except the sewing machine. But
that's what's up.
And that's it. I mean, this stuff I've been doing since I was like 14, 13.
No doubt. And one thing's for sure, a lot of artists can take notes from you, right? And the reason why I say that is because first you write your own lyrics, you make your own music, and you make your own clothes. Now, a lot of people don't understand that merchandise and clothing actually helps you push your brand forward. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah. Right now I'm specializing in masks. Like I'm doing a lot of masks. I did probably around 75 masks. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, I get the material, put your names on it, anything you want, teams, whatever.
That's cool.
I haven't really selling too much. I probably sold about 50, but for the most part, I've just been giving them away.
No doubt. Well, listen, we're gonna help you do whatever we can to promote whatever you got going on, because we definitely appreciate you coming on here.
All the love I'm getting from everybody. I mean, it's so heartfelt. Thank you. So
you gotta understand. You when you came out, it was our teenage years. So a lot of the people are happy to see that you're still in the public eye. You're still out stuff, even though it might be a couple of years old or whatever the case is, but you're still working. And that's what we like. We don't like to see we love just go away, because if you're not in tune with social media, you might not know who's dropping what. Like I said, some people don't even know when Beyonce is dropping an album unless it's word of mouth. Because the machine doesn't do really big promotion like that. Everything is online. Everything is on social media. So,
right.
But with nowadays, with the artists right now, who's your favorite artist?
Who's my favorite artist?
Oh, yeah, and you don't have to have just one. You can give me 5 if you like.
I love a lot of people. I listen to mostly 90s music now because a lot of this new stuff, I can't really understand it. Sometimes I listen and dance, or maybe I want to twerk, I love a lot of Cardi B stuff. I can listen to her. Okay. And they play her on a lot of stations, because her album is so versatile, which reminds me of my album, you know. I love my Mary J. Blige. I love Little Kim. I love Foxy. I was listening to that Brooklyn shit the other day from Foxy. I told her, I said, yo, this shit gave me the Holy Ghost. I was going crazy. Just doing the show, just spitting that shit. You know, I got to go crazy on one of my videos and shit. You know, I got to get nuts again. But let me see. Everybody pretty much, you know. Nicki Minaj, I love a lot of Nicki Minaj stuff. It's just her attitude I didn't like. And, you know, I didn't like what she did. When I met her one time, she was crazy. And I was doing a warning video. And she was in it. The next week, she did the same thing in a tub. And I said, this bitch. But she kept doing it to everybody. I seen Kim. I said, yo, rip her head off. I told Mama, like, you know, it was just, and then from me and her, and it's like she was with somebody that kind of knew me. You feel me? Because she kind of like knew a little bit too much. So it's all good, though. It's all good.
Yeah.
It kind of changed my life and my situation, but I don't hold no ill feelings for nobody. And if it wasn't for the love that I have for people, she'd be dead.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? And it's real like that. It's real like that. Now,
you know it, but it's all right.
Yeah, you know. How about the male artist? Who you like as male artist?
The male artist? Let me see. I love my 50 Cent, Method Man. Let me see. Everybody pretty much. Everybody from my 90s era. DMX, one of the illest. Let me see. Bad Dope. Mano. Everybody. I don't want to leave nobody out. I'm going to just say, like, everybody whom I rock with and everybody's from that 90s era and got that feel. And some of the new artists too. I don't know what 6ix9ine is doing, and I don't like a lot of these guys like trying to take after him and they wearing nails and stuff. It's just a lot of stuff is confusing me.
That was my next question. But before I go into that, are you familiar with Griselda Records, Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, West Side Gun? You familiar with them?
No.
Okay, so
where they from?
They from Buffalo. They from Buffalo.
Okay. Link me to their stuff.
Say again?
Link me to their stuff when you get a chance.
Okay.
Send me a link.
Definitely. So they are somebody that you would love because they brought back the 90s essence of hip hop, but they're new artists, but they're actually right now they're like the favorites. They're the favorite rappers right now. They've done everybody from Raekwon to Rick Ross to these three guys are the best right now, in my opinion.
Wow.
Like they will love them, Griselda. So
wow, maybe we can join. It's speaking of which, one of my producers, Los, his kids is dope. He got like 10 kids, and I think like most of them rap or sing. But his son, he got that 90s feel too. And he spit like today's rappers. But he can bring that feeling back as well for Katniss 20.
You gotta have those types of rappers because what happens is the ones that could do 90s rap and today's rap, what they're doing is they're drawing in the kids from today into our era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Stretch of Bobbito era. You know, taping them, making sure I hit that press record and fall asleep. And the next day, I got me a nice mixtape, you know what I'm saying, to go to school, walk to school with my walker.
The CDs? You still have some tapes and CDs, some physical stuff?
I don't know. I have CDs, but all of my tapes, they all down south. I had moved down south for a while, and they still in storage down south. And I'm trying to, after the stupid stuff, I'm gonna go down there and come out of storage because I still have all of them old tapes, them Stretch and Bobbito tapes with everybody on there.
Wow, and big up to them, boy. They was beasts back then.
Yeah, oh man, that was the best. So since you brought it up, we're starting to see a lot of emasculation of men, right? A lot of black men too. I see these guys with the nails. I see Little Pump with his nails done, with the rainbow hair, like he had like 6'9".
6'9" at first.
Yeah, no, that's Little Pump. So I'm gonna tell you like this, right? See, you don't even know who it is. They all look the same. That's another thing. Cookie cutter, right? Not only is the music cookie cutter, but the image. So we used to have a word called biting. And you couldn't bite off nobody. Originality was always what it was supposed to be. Originality. Because you would get dissed if you bit off somebody.
Right.
So,
now
but how do you... No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, it's just a little delay between us. But how do you feel about, where hip-hop is going with feminizing rap? Because it really wasn't supposed to be like that.
It's going in the path of destruction, especially for our young kids. It's confusing a lot of them now, and we have to think about 10 years from now. And I feel that it's enough of us, the originators, the legends, to come together and stop this terrible situation that's going on right now. So I think we need to step in and make a stance for this. Because if not, 3 years from now, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be confusing. And soon, they're going to be calling hip-hop something else. If they want something done, call it something else. Don't call it hip-hop. Period.
And right now, hip-hop is accepted throughout the whole world right now. And what this machine is doing, and when I say the machine, you know what I'm talking about. What it's doing is it's pushing out all of the ones who came from the era of remembering what it really, really, really was, which was the voice of the people, the voice of the have-not, right? And it's pushing all of those people out and bringing all of these new people in. So when you say it's time for us to really make sure that we put it together where we get all of that stuff straightened out, do you think that any of the artists from the 90s and 2000s, do you think they even care?
Yeah, I think they care. Yeah, I'm starting to see a change within these labels. I'm starting to see a lot of 90s artists getting re-signed again. And just like they care with my album coming back out after 20 years. Definitely. So,
okay.
Keep up the good work, ladies.
If you had, I would say, if you had to pick a hip hop council that would actually set the rules on what the standards are for this thing of ours, right? If you had to choose 5 people to be on that council, who would you pick? In your opinion?
Myself, Q45. They gotta be MCs, or they can be.
They don't have to be MCs. They don't just have to be MCs. Anybody who does anything in hip hop.
Okay. Q45. Myself, My manager, Dennis Mathis. Not to be biased, but my boyfriend Chris, he have a lot of opinions about what's going on. He's on the outside looking in. So I would say him, you know what I'm saying? And let me see. That one more person would be it's so hard to think of somebody because so many people cutthroat. Damn.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Loyalty is everything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And time when time goes, you know, you learn, you grow, you know, you hold regrets. So I could say I'm gonna just leave that last person out right now.
Okay, cool. So you gave us you gave us all of the people that are in
that I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'll think about the future.
But you know that really helped for this thing for hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's dope.
I would have said Puffy, because I love Puffy, and Jay-Z, but some of the things they do is a little bit questionable.
Got it. Yeah, got it. And they're the only ones that's actually right now at the helm of it, as far as well, more so Jay-Z, where he's signing all of these artists to him. You know, he got a lot of ones love signed to the Rock Nation, and I think that's a good thing. However, I don't know how it's going to turn out because the COVID, you know, because of this COVID thing. You know, it's like a lot of artists.
It's hard, especially for artists that don't write. They depend on these shows to put money in their pockets. So without that, it's like it's a lost cause. Hopefully everything will get back to normal soon, but we just got to be safe and careful. We can't jump out there too soon because there's people still dying. I mean, one of my best friends died like 3 weeks ago from COVID, and it took him out 5 days, you know?
Yeah, my condolences. This is crazy.
Thank you.
You know, and definitely got to keep those masks on and social distance. Like, I've been invited so many times to this person's album release party in Atlanta, and I just refuse to go. I know it can help me with my connections, but right now, I'd rather do this right now.
All that stuff anyway. That's right. That's cool. That's right.
This is how I connect with the people. If you can't do it in person, we still have the means. And if you can't do it that way, then right?
That's right.
So because I know coming in, they're like, oh, Paula, oh shit, she's in. So really quick, I'm not gonna keep you too long, but I definitely want to ask you a few more questions before I ask you my last and final question. So you work with so many producers: Clark Kent, Primo, Easy Mo B, DR Period. The list goes on. Is there any producer that name known or not known that you actually would like to work with while you're working on this new project?
Let me see. I would like to work with Pharrell. Let me see. I would like to work with Dr. Dre. Eric Sermon. You know, he's always fire. I love his stuff. Lord Digger can send you a crack or two. Stop playing. Let me see. You know, the list goes on. I mean, a lot of people I would love to work with that I haven't gotten a chance to work with. You know, I'm working with my boy Logan now. A new joint I got, Fugazi, he produced that. My girl Yazi is on it. And that's like today's rap, but it's my, you know, putting my flavor, my edge to it. And it's talking about all the mess that's going on right now. Let me see who else I like to work with. Primo could throw me a couple of more tracks.
What's up, Primo? Let's get back in there. You hit it with some bangers before.
Let me see a couple of people. I mean, you know, I like all types of tracks. It don't even make a difference who the producer is, as long as I can feel it. You know, as long as you know, that beat gotta be there, and I can pretty much flow to anything. But I like to feel it. I like to feel the music. You know, so you can feel it.
You still one of the few female MCs that still care about bars, and that's really important. Care about lyrics and you know, making sure that it's dope. It doesn't always have to be how much money you getting or how much this and how much that, right? But how do you feel about certain artists who don't write their own lyrics? Do you think that even that people don't care about it now, but how do you feel? Like, do you think that, okay, well, if it sounds good, you give them a pass? Or do you kind of say they good, but if they wrote it, I could feel it a little bit more?
Sometimes when you write your own stuff, you can put yourself into it more and feel it. It depends on how long you sit with a song after somebody wrote. You know, like for the album, my baby daddy wrote some of the songs for that. But being that we was together all the time, you know, it was just in me. And all I needed was the words pretty much, and I could put it in rhyme form. So even if you have the words, like even now I take down words, write down phrases, different punchlines, you know, text it real quick. I probably have about 3 books full of it to where I can go back and put things in rhyme form. You know, make it make sense. Convey your story to where people can picture it. You know, make sense and make you understand what you're saying. You know, a lot of times you mumbling stuff, you don't even know what you're mumbling. You know, you could be saying pray the devil for, you know. Yeah, so, and then sometimes being simple is good. Metaphors is always good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but making a song is different than probably freestyling. Because making a song, you probably don't have to use as much metaphors as you would freestyle or battering. You're just trying to convey a song.
Right. Okay. So what's next for Paula Perry? Like, tell us about this music that you're working on now.
Well, right now, a lot of things is to be announced. Plus, I have to still work things out with Universal. You know, technically, the album is still at Universal, but I'm on Cleopatra.
Right.
And between us, I'm about to get my masters. They're going to give me my masters.
Okay, hold on now. Let's give a round of applause for that.
Yeah. So all the money owed or due me, yes. But, you know, I was in it more so for the love than anything.
Right.
As long as I was comfortable and happy and at peace, you know, money, no, never meant much to me. I've always was able to make money. I make money in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, and it depends on what you do with your money. I know people with millions of dollars and still ain't happy. You know what I mean? So, and I'm working on a documentary, hopefully for Netflix. So that I'm working on a mixtape. A lot of those songs that you hear the snippets on IG, I'm putting that out. And you know, just doing my sewing, my fashion. I'm gonna get back into making the mink coats. My boy Los, his daughter coming over here tomorrow. I'm gonna help her make a robe. I've been teaching her how to sew. So you know, taking it one day at a time.
That's what's up. Jack of all trades, right?
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. That's what's up. So what are you last 2 questions, right? What are you doing? Well, right now I can't even say what are you doing because really gave us the tools to preserve your legacy in the game. But Do you think that this documentary that you're working on, do you think that will actually stamp you and put you where you need to be as far as, because you built bricks in this game, but do you think that that will put you in here where people from years to come will say, oh, wow, she was a dope MC? Think that was,
Yeah,
that's the purpose?
that'll pretty much tell a story of how I came up, everything I went through, all the obstacles I came through, and yeah, and definitely my skills. And back then, you know, we all got together and wrote. We all wrote in the cipher, so everybody had to compare their lyrics. You feel me? So we had to write in front of people. It wasn't no hiding. It
Right.
was no speaking. So yeah, pretty much that, and it'll show people the essence and the fun that we actually had in hip hop. And a lot of people is going to be involved in this movie, as far as like, you know, the characters being played. Queen Latifah I was running with back then. Nikki D I was running with. Let me see, with Master Ace, all of them, you know. So yeah, this documentary will definitely give a story of what type of MC I am.
Dope. And also, it's going to definitely highlight who you was as a person as well. Correct?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I was a shy person. I was so shy. It still is at some points.
You couldn't
I
tell,
know.
though. You really couldn't tell.
I know. I know. But I was
You,
always a fighter, though. Like, ooh.
yeah.
But I was
You know,
always-
all shy people can fight, you know, and they will fight. You know what I mean? Because they're so shy. It's like, don't bark, please.
I've always taken up for my friends. I'm never a troublemaker. Never look for trouble. No, I'm a protector.
Definitely.
I'm a protector. I'm a protector. I solve
Definitely.
the problem. I don't fix the problem.
That's what's up. I attract people like that. I never attracted bullies. If I was ever around somebody who was a bully or whatever the case is, chances are me and that person got into it. You know?
I'm gonna give you a story. When I was in the second grade, right? This girl named Celeste, she used to make me sharpen her pencils all the time. And she used to be like, I'm gonna punch you in the face at 3 o'clock if you don't sharpen my pencil. So one day I got fed up. I went, sharpened a pencil. I came back. I said, you say one more thing to me, I'll poke your eyeball out.
I'm gonna laugh, but it's for real.
And she was like, she was scared of me after that. And that everybody that bullied me, I had to do that to them. Either I have to have about 15 people surround you and I'll just slap the shit out of your ass or something. But it never lasts. It never lasts no more than 3 days with that bullying. Because my family crazy. They would make me fight. You know what I mean? They would make me fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cornering a cat in the corner. You corner the cat. What's the cat gonna do? It's gonna attack.
I had to stand my ground in 2012. I did. So I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, I appreciate you, you know, giving us all of that because you know, this interview right here actually gave me a chance to see and just learn a lot more about you, you know, without just reading and watching the interviews, but just learning a lot more about the type of person you are. And it seems like you're a very genuine person and you have a big heart. You know, that's what I get from it. And I definitely appreciate that.
The industry called me God.
There you go. That's what's up. So, last question. How does Paula Perry want to be remembered when it's all said and done?
I want to be remembered as a legend, somebody that brought everybody together, fun, and hip hop, the essence of hip hop, the real meaning, love in hip hop, togetherness, creation, and that's it.
Definitely. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've shared with us today. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. You hard as the concrete, you know what I'm saying? And that's real. You spit that hard shit. Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm like, she still got it. It ain't went nowhere. So I really want to hear what you got when you come out. Like anything that you want to send us so we can put it in rotation over here, we will definitely do that. Anything that you got to promote, you know, just reach out to me. You know, we got each other's information, so I'll continue to just, you know, let you know what's going on. I'm gonna send you them links to Griselda too, but send us some more music, you know what I'm saying, so we can put it in rotation and let people know, hey, Paula Perry's still here, and she still can wrap circles around y'all brothers, and it ain't ringling. You know what I mean?
Yep, I like that. You said around y'all brothers. Look, and a lot of brothers hate to admit that too, but it's all good.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, real gotta recognize real when it's staring you in the face. So at the end of the day, you gotta keep it 100. Because if you don't keep it 100, then you're just gonna be one of those people that if you can't keep it real with yourself, you ain't never gonna keep it real with nobody else. So if you're sitting there, you're just a hater. If you're not giving people their flowers while they're here, you're just a hater. And that's the reason why I'm here, because I want to give the people who shaped and molded me when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? We ain't too far from each other in age either. So, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like I still was a youngster in this music game, in this music thing, and I was coming up writing lyrics off of people who I respected. And you're definitely one of the female rappers that I respected in that game. I look at you the same way I would look at an MC Light or Queen Latifah or Lauryn Hill. You know what I mean? So I definitely wanted to let you know that you definitely appreciate it over here.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you too. And thanks for having me.
Oh, no doubt. And before you go, give the people all of your social media platforms.
All right. I'm on Paula Perry 101, Instagram, Twitter, Paula Perry, Facebook, Paula Perry 101. And also tell them to subscribe to my YouTube. What is it? P1232.
P1232, y'all. Well, definitely. There you have it. It's Paula Perry, and this is your boy LS. You have been watching and listening to This Is Hip Hop Radio. We had another iconic person on our show, and y'all got to give her respect and her flowers. And thank you very much for being a guest on our show.
All right, thank you. You be safe out there.
No doubt. Likewise.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Peace. And without further ado, we're going to leave y'all with this. If you ever are out here and you're trying to make a name for yourself, don't worry about what nobody else thinks in this world. Make sure that you continue to do what you do, and make sure that you are true to who you are. And y'all already know my slogan. Always show love, always stay true, because you never know who belongs to who. God over money, money under family. And we'll see y'all in a few minutes, y'all.